put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with a video reward, trying to think of the word there, from Venom for when shoplifters, sorry, I cannot speak. When shoplifters realize they've been caught. This is from the channel Courthouse. And yeah, I'm curious about this because let's go into some story time. So for those who didn't know, who haven't heard on like any previous videos where I've mentioned it or whatnot, I have had a troubled youth. I'm 32 now, obviously, not a youth anymore, but when I was a teenager, most notably, I would say between the ages of 14 and 17, I was troubled. There were a lot of reasons why, too many things to go into here, but I had issues, and issues came in things I said, things I did, and probably the most notable issue I had was with theft. And it included shoplifting, but it wasn't just shoplifting. It was all kinds of stuff. It also included like stealing from friends and even from my own family. And I look back on it now, obviously with, disgust and shock that I would even do shit like that. But I mean, that just is a good thing that I can look back on it in that way, because it shows how much I've grown and shows that I'm not in that kind of place anymore. But like I said, there was multiple reasons why I was in that place as a teenager. Like I said, too much to really go into here, but just as a brief example, stuff like family stuff, home life and all that, and just a lot of jealousy over what others my age had. Basically, it came down to jealousy a lot, which, sounds obvious and fair, but doesn't make it right. In the end, I was a troubled kid, and I did a lot of troubled things. And luckily I've grown up past that. But a lot of people don't. There are a lot of people who, even as adults, do this stuff. And it's especially when it gets to be like overly consistent, it gets to end up being way too much and proves to be a problem. And it's especially so when people shoplift from like these small mom and pop stores and stuff, because those ones, they feel it the most. They're not like these wealthy big business companies that aren't really affected by anything like that. So it's even worse when it's that kind of situation. But a lot of these stories we're going to hear, I don't know how many stories are going to be in this video, but these kind of stories usually showcase things, at least from what I've seen, from places like Walgreens, CVS, sometimes places like Walmart or whatnot. But usually a lot of them tend to be from the smaller, like, big name stores like that. Like the corner drugstores and stuff. Again, like CVS and Walgreens and whatnot. Or depending on where you live, other ones, of course. I'm just naming ones that I know of from my neck of the woods, the Midwest, I guess. Um, and the funny thing is, a lot of times when these people are caught and stuff, they like either try to play dumb or they get really defensive and aggressive, and it's like, Jesus. It's like I had been caught a couple times, and I just ended up kind of like becoming really like quiet and nervous and almost kind of shut down. Um, which, mind you, is kind of my reaction to being confronted in any way, shape, or form. I don't do well under pressure. um, so yeah, I definitely handled things differently. Of course, I also tried to be super sneaky about it. A lot of these people who do it are not really sneaky. Because again, I've seen these kinds of videos before, and a lot of people who do it are like very kind of blatant about it. Like they barely like even look around to make sure no one's like watching them or anything. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. Um, but yeah, excuse me. But yeah, um, we'll see how it ends up going here. I don't know if like these are going to be anything I've seen before because I've seen these videos kind of sporadically here and there. Um, maybe it'll be something completely new. I don't know. But let's see what we have in store for us with this video of when shoplifters realize they've been caught. Let me just cut in here for a moment to remind you of all the awesome content we have on the channel. A plethora of awesome series reactions every day, Monday through Friday, with 2 on Friday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday, as well as Let's Plays. We alternate between Horizon Baldur's Gate 3 every day, and we have Anno Mutationum on Saturdays. We also redirect all reactions on the channel. Please follow the link in the description to get to today's reaction. It's due to copyright, you get the idea. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out and allows me to get out more awesome content for all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get on with the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So with that last case and everything, just because that's fresh on my mind, it didn't say why they were let go at the end. And even the narrator, the person who put up the channel and all, even commented for some reason the charges were dropped. I mean, that's odd that that would happen. The fact that they're basically let go and everything. And the deportation thing, it's like, shut up. It's like, don't like just go instantly towards deportation as a punishment for this. It also didn't say like what the felony warrant for their arrest was, that the FBI had out on them. It never actually specified anything about that, but it's, I guess, interesting that that was the case. They were very nonviolent. They were like cooperating completely, unlike a couple of these other ones where they ran. And it's like, I think the most violent one here was the one woman from I think the third case that we saw here, in where she actually shoved the one officer to the ground. And like was said, it seemed like the little blackout she had was due to like when she fell on her own. But the fact is, she was still shoved to the ground. That is still assault on an officer. And that was, it wasn't like attacking, like punching or kicking or anything like that. But it was the most aggressive action any of these people took. Then there was the one lady who was just like on meth, apparently. I was saying it's like, oh no, I don't think it's meth. I think it's something lighter and all. I was saying that because it's like, I felt meth would have made her a lot more aggressive and a lot more, a lot less cooperative than she already was. But I guess it might affect different people differently, and everything. Because usually when I hear about stories about people on meth, they're a lot, worse than that. This woman was definitely, it was very clear she was on something right from the start. But I felt like meth would have been like jumping the gun a little bit. I guess I was wrong. I mean, it happens. I mean, I'm not like super knowledgeable about drugs. So hey, I might just be completely wrong. It happens. Um and then we had the lady who's like had this cover identity she was trying to go with and everything. Is like couldn't even spell it properly, misspelled it multiple times, couldn't even get her story straight. It's like Jesus. Oh my goodness. It's like here's the thing. If you're caught, you're caught. Don't make excuses. Don't try to come up with this false identity or shit like that. It's just what the fuck are you doing at that point? Like I've said, when I've been caught, the couple times I was caught when I was doing it, as a stupid teenager, I was caught like before I even left the store, for one. So it's like that's a very big difference there. I was taken into the loss prevention officer's office. Again, I was told to empty my pockets and everything, and I always cooperated because, partially out of fear because I was caught and everything, and partially out of the fact that I just don't handle pressure well. It's like I'm not gonna argue. Shit, I'm not gonna fight against this. No, I always cooperated, and I was like very like nervous and practically in tears like when they were questioning me and stuff. And again, it was always stupid little things like that, like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and action figures. It was sometimes maybe candy or something, but never anything like huge. The couple times I got caught were for cards. I can tell you that for sure. They were for Yu-Gi-Oh cards specifically. The times I got caught. No, actually, I think one of them was for Neopets cards. Weirdly enough, those used to be a thing. Believe it or not, remember Neopets? They had a card game. Yeah, I think one of the times was for Neopet cards, but there was definitely a time or two for Yu-Gi-Oh cards as well. I never got like in any kind of major trouble. No charges were pressed against me because I think even they understood. It's like this is a dumb kid. It's like there was not a lot of like actual like big ticket merchandise or anything being taken. Everything was recovered. Nothing was damaged. It's like it could literally have been put right back on the shelf. It was just they understood. It's like okay, we're gonna have we're gonna okay. Let me try to explain this without stuttering over my words constantly. So let me detail one of the case. I'll detail one case for you. Okay. So this was when I was like 14, 15 years old, something like that. There was this shopping center near my high school at the time, and that shopping center had Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, right? Well, there's a store right across from the shopping center. Like they're like right next to each other, but they're like a street like going between them. And I think it was a Kmart. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I went over to the store because I was going to the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament there, and I was waiting for my ride to pick me up. I had like I don't know like half an hour until they would get there. I went into the store and I tried to sneakily steal some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So I was again taken to the back and all, and they didn't call the cops or anything. They got the merchandise back again. Nothing was damaged, so they could put it right back on the shelf. But they basically, instead of calling the cops or anything or calling my parents, because I didn't know my numbers back then, so even when they asked, I couldn't give it to them. It's wild that I remember this so vividly, by the way. But they basically told me, okay, we're not going to press charges, we're not going to call the cops, but you have to leave this store right now, and you are not allowed back in for the next year. They gave me a time period. They told me I was banned from that store for a year. And I never went back. I can tell you that much. I never went back to that store again for a year. I've been in the vicinity of it, but I never went into that store. I did abide by that. But yeah, I was. They let me go because they understood I was a dumb teenager. It wasn't like huge, expensive property that I tried to steal. Property is the wrong word, but you know what I mean. And nothing was damaged, so they just let me go. And that was lucky because I had actually been apprehended by police. Like, police had actually come and had to drive me home. And again, I never had any charges pressed against me. I was lucky in that regard. Maybe it's because I was a teenager and they just, just let it go. But like even like when I was like driven home by police and stuff, it's like I basically just got in trouble with my parents. But yeah, it's like nothing like this where it's like, oh, 1,800, I think the one person had taken, or was it 1,400? I think it was 1,400 worth of merchandise taken and stuff like that. These two at the end stealing all that stuff from Burlington Coat Factory and trying to take all the tags off. It's like, no, I never did shit like that. And again, I never like got out of the store with that kind of shit. So it's like the only times I actually got out of the store is if I got away with it, which did happen. And I will openly admit to that. I got away with it on quite a few occasions. And I'm not proud of that, but I did. There were multiple things that I took that I got away with. It definitely was the case. So, yeah. I am very glad that I have grown up, to put it simply. And I'm glad that I didn't get in worse trouble. Though, part of me kind of feels like maybe I should have. Again, I never took anything like super major, never like a lot of money's worth, but still. I might have stopped doing it a lot quicker if I got in bigger trouble for it. It might have helped me a little bit sooner. But, again, at least I'm away from that shit now. Nowadays, I just, stay jealous of people having better things than me. But whenever I just, if I ever want something, I'll like save up the little bits of money I get here and there. And I'll just like with the PS5. With the PS5, I saved up for over a year for that. And this was years after the PS5 had originally come out as well. I instead of like being jealous about that, it's like, okay, I want one of these, I'm gonna save up for it. I'll not use this money for much of anything else. Maybe I'll take like a few dollars for something here and there, but for the most part, I'm saving up. And took over a year, but I got there. I did get there, and now we've been doing PS5 Let's Plays on the channel. But yeah, it's like I'm definitely happy that I got past that point in my life, because it was a problem. It very much was a problem. And it could have been worse, but, it should have never been the case in the first place. So, yeah. Tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this video that we reacted to? What did you think of the cases that were shown within? Have you ever had any kinds of experiences with this kind of stuff? No judgment here. No judgment here. People do stupid stuff sometimes. Again, I am very much example of that. I'm open and honest about that. Um, yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.